Hey guys, our friends Mike and Steph, who are also from Canada, are parked right beside us. I think this is the 4th time that we've met up with them. So after that many times, we thought it would be fun to do a little sit-down interview with them and get to hear their story and check out their trailer. So here it is right now.
So I'm Michael Armstrong. This is my wife,
Stephanie Armstrong.
I'm her husband. And we're travelbox.advenutre, and we're living on the road, currently hanging out with Adam and Vanessa.
We are from Ontario. We lived in Oakville, which is outside of Toronto.
We were working in the city, which was nice to a certain degree, financially I guess you could say.
Yeah.
It was really nice working in Toronto. And Steph, you were working in Oakville, right, as an interior designer. And the reason that we were living there is because we went to school in Oakville at Sheridan, and that's where we met. Thank goodness. She doesn't seem happy about it at all. But that's where we met, and after we were done school, we just stayed. So I landed a job, a graphic design and social media gig in Toronto.
Well, I was actually a nanny for 4 years, and then became an interior designer in the area as well.
Like right across the street from where we
Yeah,
live,
it was walking distance,
convenient.
so yeah, it was great.
Yeah, really what did we normally do? It was work every day, come home, take care of Theo, try to stay active, but it was a lot of sitting. And I think that's where we can transition into why we did this, why we made this move. I was feeling pretty low, despite the financial gains that were coming in from working in the city. It was definitely becoming a drag.
Your commute became 3 hours a day, so driving to and from work was taking up a lot of your time. And we were kind of at a stage, we just got married, we were ready to potentially buy a house, and in the GTA, Toronto area, it's very expensive to buy a home, and even with all of our savings and everything, we just weren't even able to buy. A townhouse is like 800,000.
Yeah, over 700,000. So we were in a weird position where we had great jobs, and the city is where you can find great jobs, but I suppose just not great enough to actually sustain ourselves if we were to buy a home.
The weekend was our free time, and it just wasn't feeling like enough, and so we started watching YouTube videos of people traveling in RVs full time, and we hadn't even really thought about what type of trailer or van or what we were gonna do. We just knew that we were gonna leave our jobs and start traveling. And within 3 months, we had left our jobs, left our apartment, bought a truck,
which was scary.
Bought a trailer, and also renovated our trailer, and then left. So it was a very fast experience.
We learned from the people that inspired us online was that you don't necessarily have to have the perfect rig to get on the road. Like if you feel like you have an itch, we definitely had an itch. We weren't particularly happy, and again, it sounds privileged, but we knew, one day we'd be able to travel and we'd be able to see the world. But we're young now. We're not particularly in a rush. We're financially okay, so we figured we'd go ahead and try. I mean, we were on track, right? You finish school, you get a good job, you save up enough money to hopefully buy a house, to have children. To stray from that, even for a short amount of time, we thought people would be pretty judgmental, especially my parents. Love you, Mom and Dad, but we thought you'd be judgmental, but they weren't. They were hugely supportive, So we essentially just tried to find something that took our feeling of our apartment back in Oakville and plant it on the road or in really cool national parks.
So what we did was we removed the carpet and we put in vinyl plank flooring, and we did paint everything. All the windows had like these ugly valances from the 80s. And,
floral patterns, floral pattern everywhere.
Yeah, so we removed all the valances and we reupholstered the cushions. This used to be a sofa, and we made it into a bench with just pillows and a bookcase behind it, but essentially it wasn't a massive renovation.
It was important for us in terms of cost-wise to buy everything outright.
Our truck was $10,000 and it had about 300,000 kilometers. Our trailer we ended up getting for about $6,000, and we put in, I don't know,
maybe $1,500, $18,000 up front, but that's to own it all. So what I love about the trailer, definitely the space. So that was our reason for getting it to begin with. So it's not just Stephanie and I here. We do have our dog Theo and our cat Oliver along for the ride. So I would say just the floor space. When we're hanging in here, the four of us, nobody's getting on top of each other, and we can all separate ourselves. Light. So I really like this trailer. One of the big reasons we got it was for all the windows. So even when it's a gray day like today, we still have quite a bit of light coming in here.
Well, the thing I really like is we have a ton of counter space in our trailer, and that has been awesome. It's,
big kitchen.
It's almost the same as our apartment, basically, so that was really nice. And yeah, I do love being able to have space, and our bedroom is kind of separate from our kitchen. I thought I needed a bigger trailer, and I needed all these things. Now that I've been on the road, I can honestly say I could live in a tent on the road. Like, I'm just not as, maybe not a tent, but I don't know, I just don't need all of this. I don't need all the gadgets and everything that this trailer has to offer.
A trailer has a few more bits and bobs just in its size that can break, right? Like, the more pieces there are to a unit, the more pieces that can break. So going smaller maybe would have been more beneficial there. And the other thing, maybe all the tires. There's just that many more tires that we have to worry about, right? So
yeah, I find the setup and takedown a little bit daunting. Like, every time we go somewhere, it is, you know, it is quite a process to set up the trailer and take it down, and you know, you have to unhitch, and there's just a little bit more to it every time we arrive somewhere. I don't really like driving with the trailer.
Just drive it all.
No, I don't drive it, but I don't really like being a passenger either, just because it is so big.
The upside to trailer, to towing something, is that you have a separate vehicle. So even we've been going into Death Valley where we are right now, and we can keep our house here, our trailer here, just as it is. We don't have to touch anything. We can hop in the car and we can go. Yeah. Whereas if we had a single rig, which would be easier in that you don't have to tow anything, now you have to take everything with you when you go. It's hard to know before you get out on the road what exactly is going to be. What
I mean, like, we could have went on the road and this could have been the perfect rig for us or setup for us, and that would have been amazing, but you won't really know until you actually go out and start traveling. We didn't really know how we were going to make money. The long-term goal was to find telecommuting jobs, so 100% working from your laptop. I'm an interior designer, Mike's a graphic designer. There's lots of online opportunities for us. Luckily for me, the company I worked for, they still keep me on and give me projects here and there. So that's basically been helping us continue this lifestyle.
So we saved up to buy a house, and we did this instead.
Yeah.
Essentially. Yeah. So now that we have one person that can have a pretty solid telecommunication job, now for years on, we want to both have that, and then hopefully both do tree planting for 3 months of the year as well, if Steph survives. And we underestimated our cat because we didn't think he'd like it very much, but he's having a better time than Theo. Our dog, we actually feel a little bit worse for him because some of the national parks aren't that great and don't allow him to run around. So we thought that Theo would be the one that was constantly free and happy, but it seems like Oliver has flourished.
The national parks, the dogs can't go on trails, so we will go out hiking and we have to leave him behind. So that's kind of the one downside to having the dog along, is sometimes we do have to leave him behind.
Yeah, we didn't realize we were a commercial vehicle when we started this trip, and we ended up on a highway that was no commercial vehicles, and we almost ran into a tunnel that we wouldn't have been able to get under and had to turn around on a highway. We got a ticket, so that wasn't good. And then we also got caught in a nor'easter while in an apple field, and we got trapped in one, and while trying to escape, we ran into an apple tree. Don't worry, the apple tree's fine, but our trailer has a massive gash up the side of it.
As the whole siding was like flapping in the wind and our insulation was all exposed. But then when we took it to the repair shop, they threw on some collision wrap.
And we ran away with the collision wrap, essentially.
And so what did go wrong was we had a 1 month delay in our trip.
So that's something that I know Adam and Vanessa have said in one of the other videos, is that things break. Like, you have to expect that things, you're gonna have mechanical issues no matter what rig you have. You're gonna have mechanical issues.
If you have the means, and this is something you've thought about doing, and you know, you're not happy in your job, or you feel like there's something more out there that would make you grow as a person or make your life happier, then I would say just bite the bullet and do it. And honestly, it's not like it was an easy decision. It's super, super scary and really, really hard to make that decision. But what I'm so happy that we did this, and can't believe that this is our day-to-day life right now.
And then don't underestimate the means that you have either. So there's a lot of different ways to get on the road. Some of them are going to be really expensive, and some of them are going to be incredibly cheap. Check out Instagram and Facebook. It's travelbox.advenutre. Travelbox adventure. This is our travel box. And we're on an adventure.